On July 26, 2013, the Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren Stirling Moss was released in Need for Speed World. This was part of Need for Speed World's 3rd anniversary and can be purchased from the car dealer for Speed Boost.
He's gonna change. He's gonna change. He's gonna
The SLR Stirling Moss first appeared in the Need for Speed series in Shift 1 DLC, after that appearing in Criterion's Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, and then most recently it appeared in Need for Speed Shift 2 Unleashed. Drag mode does serve a little bit of an issue with this car. Well, it does have good acceleration and powerful nitrous. The fact that it only has 5 gears does seem to slow it down a lot. And, you know, the RTR still beats this thing in drag races. But you don't really get to steer the car in drag races. But when you take this thing out of the box and replay with it on sprint and circuit events, you're going to be up for a rude awakening if you don't really know what to expect with this thing. The car is super oversteery handling, which means it can be very twitchy and hyper responsive. So my issue with the car is that you lose some precision with the fact that it's handling. It's going to be so much overcorrection from just trying to avoid a traffic car. But it does take a lot of time to get used to this. I was driving this car for probably about 2 hours before I actually got sort of in the groove of it. And right now in the car I have it with the parts it comes with. It comes with some weird street tune parts that are some bunch of colors that you can see in the car dealer. But like, it's not a normal yellow weird setup of American street tune parts. It is a bunch of other street tune parts that make it 777 overall. So, when it fresh out of the dealer, its competition is going to be GT3 RS 4.0s. Now it's fun to dice with those things, but once you get some ultras on it, the thing can start fighting the Cinques and Aventadors. It's not better than most cars, it can just fight against them. But right now, this is how I'm testing the car, to be all fair. It's what you see, it's what you get, what you pay the 8,000 speed boost for, so that's what I'm doing. I did throw some skill mods on it, but it's just a perfect start RPM race cash. So the car's a lot of fun to race with, don't get me wrong, but keep in mind, do not get cocky with this car, because there's a little bit after I finish this race where I show you where I just get a little bit out of line, the thing really bitch slaps me hard. Yeah, that could pretty much ruin your race. So, Team Escape and Pursuit Outrun events. Well, I've got bad news for you if you want to take this thing into Team Escape and Pursuit Outrun events, because unlike the SLR McLaren, where it's really good there, this SLR McLaren Stirling Moss is not good there at all. The fact that it's really light does cause a major issue with this car. And I'm not saying that you have to have a heavy car to be necessarily good in TE, it's just that you lose your safety net, and this thing does need a safety net. And also the responsiveness can get you into a lot of trouble if you don't really know exactly the right place to put your car's nose to get through roadblocks. Now, the major issue is you try to avoid a gap in a roadblock and you end up smacking a Rhino head-on or some of those heavy-ass Chargers head-on. You're just going to go to a stop. Brake checking, Challenger like cops still do issues too, but I mean, the car really has no safety with it, especially when you smack into a cop car. You're going to be slowed down by a lot. And that's not... I don't even recommend this car for either of those modes at all. I mean, it could be kind of like a challenge between friends, but I mean, it's pretty bad in that area of the game. But I mean, it's a race car, so it's not really supposed to be smashing into cop cars at 100 miles an hour. But the car also does have a weird bug with a hood view on this thing. For some reason, the hood sometimes disappears when you're using hood view. And also have this with the meeting place. As soon as part of the car was out of camera, but you still have the nose would disappear and actually would have a front shadow. Which that's another bug that the car has. It does not have a front shadow where it should be. It's like no shadow is actually like in the middle of the car, so that makes Neon look weird. So, do I recommend the SLR McLaren Stirling Moss? For the racer who already has a primary race car, a Genque, Aventador, those kind of cars, if you already have one and you're looking for something that's a good change of pace, good refresher, good thing to just, have a different style of racing with, go ahead and get this car because it is a lot of fun, especially if you're just looking for something, a little refresher. But if you're a player that doesn't really make that many purchases all that often, I can't really recommend it because I would say go for more a stable approach like a CCXR or a Jera.